Hello, hello, my beautiful, amazing YouTube family. Welcome back to the L learning portion of T.E.L.L Joanne. I am your girl, Joanne. Guys, I hope you have been enjoying this 8 o'clock segment of the story behind the songs. Guys, I have definitely been absolutely enjoying myself with tears and happiness and sadness, listening to the stories either by the artists themselves or by their songwriters or just people who know them. And I thank you guys for being here with me on this journey. So before we continue, let's do our share. If you're a part of the family, aka you're ready to subscribe, you know I was gonna say that. But if you're new to the channel, this is when I say hello, hello, hello. Now put me on pause or yourself a beverage of choice. Hit that subscribe button so that you can become part of this absolutely amazing community. And on the count of three, we'll do our share. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. First time reaction to Simon and Garfunkel, the story of Bridge Over Troubled Water. Guys, you know I have heard this song by Simon and Garfunkel as well as Elvis, and I absolutely, this song is absolutely amazing. So I am very, very excited to actually hear the story behind the song. All right, without further talking, let's go.
I'm out in L.A. and Paul said, I've written what I think is my greatest song, and I want to play it for you. And I'm sitting in a chair, and he played Bridge Over Troubled Water. You know, if you're around the music business all your life, every now and then, maybe once a decade, you'll hear a song that's so striking, so powerful, so unusual. And Bridge Over Troubled Water was that for me.
I have no idea where it came from. It just came all of a sudden. You know, one minute it wasn't there, and the next minute the whole line was there. It was one of the shocking moments in my songwriting career, you know, and at the time I remember thinking this is really considerably better than I usually write. But that's how fast it came.
I hear him say that, and I think about the line that they say that the song just writes himself, right? You get those songs, and the song just writes themselves because they were meant to be. They were meant to be in existence.
And all of a sudden I sang that line, and I sort of just stopped, and then I sang it twice. I said, oh, you can sing it twice in a row. But that's a pretty long melody, especially for a pop song. And then I wrote the lyrics, and then I showed the lyrics to, then I said to Artie, I wrote this song, and I think you should sing it.
The whole damn song is a gem. I love running through the line from top to bottom and delivering Paul's intentions. If you're down and out, let my lucky gift of a voice be a friend. Lucky gift. You shake out the human condition so you can be as honest as you can about these beautifully written words.
The first thoughts were like, well, those lyrics are too simple. They're just very, you know, when you're weary, when you're feeling small, when evening falls so hard, well, I'll comfort you, you know, I'll take your part. So it's just too simple.
But you guys know what? Like he's saying they're too simple, but those are the words that really resonate with us, right? When we're feeling these ways, we don't need anything extra. We just need something simple that just talks to our souls, that says what we're feeling, right? And when I heard the song and I hear the song and it's just what it is, the simple word is just simply how you feel. And that's just that, you know? You don't need anything extra. It was perfect. Let me.
I'll comfort you, you know, I'll take your part. So it's just too simple. And of course, that's what really made it so universal.
I remember distinctly Paul coming in the control room, and he said, I think I wrote something really over the top. This is really good. And he sat and he played it and sang. And that's how it started.
When you're weary, feeling sad, when peace is all you seek, I will be there, to bring you sleep.
Artie and I and Roy Halley were working with Larry T.E.L.L. Larry T.E.L.L. was the piano player. And we spent 2 or maybe 3 days just making up the piano part, because I wrote it on guitar. I showed Larry the song, and he, mostly Larry, but all of us sort of combined to make up what it is that we heard in terms of gospel piano.
I sat at the piano at the end of each verse of Bridge Over Troubled Water and say, Larry, let's work out how we turn around. After the like a bridge over troubled water said twice, how are we going to come around chord-wise to the quiet setup of the next verse?
So here was this piano piece that he wrote, and it was, beautifully written. And fortunately for us, he had an extensive knowledge of gospel music, because we hadn't used him in that capacity before. In fact, he plays bass on a bunch of our records.
Larry T.E.L.L. had already put his part on. He and Art went in and did the piano part, and then we went in with bass and drums and did overdub to that.
And then we overdubbed the strings in the big studio in Hollywood. Ernie Freeman did the arrangement.
I sent the demo to the arranger, and the arranger came back and handed it out to everybody, and it said on it, like a pitcher of water. And then we said, what is this? He said, well, that's the song. So I thought, well, that's how much attention he's paid to this demo. He didn't even hear the words right. He just heard it at like a pitcher of water. So I still have that framed at home, like a pitcher of water.
And then we went back to New York and we worked on Artie's vocal. That was the last thing we did. We went and worked on Artie's vocal.
And here it goes.
That was his time to really show his chops.
When you're weary.
The fact is, from the moment I locked on to that melody and the fun of singing, there was a thunderous reaction, and always has been.
That song goes to the heart, it goes to the soul, it touches it all, and that's just what it is.
I will drive them all.
Art sung the song very powerfully.
Yeah.
I heard Art do the song at the vocal mic, getting the sound for the mic, and sung Bridge Over Troubled Water
When times get rough.
a cappella, and it was chill bumps.
And friends just can't be found.
It was a great 2-verse song with the most heartfelt of lyrics. It needed nothing. But the record maker in me loved the notion that these 2 verses could be a setup for a as yet unwritten 3rd verse. And we could be calling this all runway material for a takeoff that's waiting.
Roy, Halley, and Artie said, you have to write a 3rd verse. The song wants to be bigger, wants to be a really big song. And I said, no, it doesn't. It's a little hymn. It's just a little hymn. That's the way I hear it, And they said, no, really, right? You really have to write a 3rd verse. So I wrote a 3rd verse in the studio, which I never do. I always take a long time to write, but I wrote this one in the studio.
All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, hit you need
Those wonderful words and the triumph of an airplane taking off.
Yes, it is.
From the
It really
moment the
is.
song was written and I had the great fun of execution, the two together worked.
Well, I didn't think it was a smash, but I thought it was something really exceptional. I thought it was probably too long for a commercial record, and it was all piano up until the last verse, and it just. I didn't think that it was. I didn't think that it was a hit. I thought Cecilia was going to be a hit, which it was.
So you always knew the animal called the single, and you knew what was an album piece that was really happening. This seemed the latter. As a single, too slow, too long. Clive Davis came in the studio, president of CBS, and said, no, I want to get behind it all the way. It's the title of your album. It is the first single. Be unapologetic about such a slow song, because I'm going to get behind it with faith.
I knew it was exceptional, and the first time I heard it on the radio, I knew that it was a hit because it sounded huge just with the voice and the piano. And if a song jumped out of the radio,
And then the instruments.
that meant there was some kind of magic in the way you cut it.
Anybody who can really create something, there's always a mystery of how does it happen. I mean, there was a moment in time when Bridge Over Troubled Water didn't exist at all. And then there was another moment when it did, or when it started to. Where does it come from? What actually happens? Were you in the shower one day and...
I was listening to some music by a gospel group called the Swan Silvertones.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard this, I kept playing this, it was the music that was in my mind most of the time, and every time I'd come home I'd put that record on and I'd listen to it, and I think that must have subconsciously influenced me because I started to go to gospel changes.
Wow. Oh, what an incredible story. And it's so interesting. Like, I feel like one of the themes that I'm seeing across those songs that are just absolutely amazing, just hits, just iconic. When you hear the person, the writer or the performer, and you hear them talk, at no point did you ever really hear that when they started, they were going for a hit song, right? It's like one of the themes that I keep hearing is that they say that, they started writing it and it's almost like the song wrote itself, right? And then they saw the song, they was like, oh, this is going to be something. This is going to be something afterwards. But it's like, again, these are the songs that are meant to be in this world, are meant to be for us, and they are. They're just absolutely amazing. But yeah, the whole team comes. I really love this video. I love the fact that they show you the whole team, and that they were able to get different interviews by different members of the team. The pianist, the bass player, all of those, the singers, all of these people, they were able to get interview for to talk about a little bit of background of the song. So I definitely enjoyed this interview very much. And hearing the song, I'm just hearing the song and I'm just getting all emotional just hearing it right now. And it's funny because I think I had said my first time hearing the song, I heard it from Elvis, and I just absolutely love it. So Elvis' version has stayed in my mind. But as I heard them and I started, and even hearing this right now, I'm just like getting so emotional, so overwhelmed. I hope that version of the song that I just heard, I hope you two don't mute the video. Sometimes that's what happens, and to get mute because I don't want the whole video to get blocked. But either way, I am absolutely enjoying going down this L learning portion of T.E.L.L. Joanne, and I do truly appreciate you guys being here with me. And on that note, I'm going to see you guys on the next reaction. But definitely comment below and let me know other interviews that you guys know of, all right?